Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the GT3 Sprint Championships from Broken Wing Racing League recap videos. So the first one of season 16. It was it's quite the exciting time over at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. We had an eventful night. We had a packed grid again, over 50 drivers, which was awesome to see. A lot of new names, some really hot rookies that made quite the statement. Some returning guys with something to prove. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Just overall a good showing. It was a lot of fun. I had like maybe the worst race in my entire life, but it was still a great time to be back out with everybody and enjoying a Sunday night race. It was much missed last week. So we'll start with just kind of going over each of the class winners. We had both the overall and pro winner, Austin McGill, had himself a fantastic race. Um, didn't see him last season. I think he took the summer away. If I'm not mistaken, I think he said that he wasn't going to be very fast. We decided that that was a lie, and he was very fast. So congrats to Austin getting that pro victory. In the pro-am class, unfortunately mildly controversial Jeff Koffold getting demoted, which if you watched our breakdown video of all the power rankings, I said I didn't think he would get demoted, even though he technically met the criteria to get demoted. And he did. I believe he qualified second, like a couple thousandths off of pole, and ended up finishing third overall, first in the pro-am by a decent margin, if I'm not mistaken. Really just kind of gave the finger to the power rankings that call him a pro-am. So we'll see if he can keep that up throughout the rest of the season. In the AM class, we have Jason Daly, I believe newly in the Ferrari. I believe he was in a Mercedes last season. Um, More on car manufacturers later. I had a fun thing I decided to add. Um, but yeah, good job for him. I think he ended up 11th overall. Ran a pretty insane race. I think we're going to highlight one of his moves. Um, he kind of just rode in Peter Flanner, our defending champion's toe, for what looked like almost the whole race. It was pretty impressive stuff from him. And then in the rookie class, which for anybody new, rookies aren't technically like the bottom class. They're just if you have 5 or less races with us, we classify you as a rookie until you get a few races on your belt. We can level out your power rankings, see where you belong, see what group you should be in. So Ryan Otis was your pole sitter as a rookie. Led a decent amount of the race, if I'm not mistaken, and ended up second overall. So what a showing from Ryan. I believe I heard he'll be out on Tuesday in our Broken Wing Endurance Championship race as well. So that'll be fun. But yeah, congrats to Ryan. What a really solid showing. And I believe I saw also that he created a team, 499 Racing, with uh, Kevin Millard, I believe. One second, let me go confirm what that team is, because I believe that that's another rookie that found himself in like ninth or 10th, which is pretty absurd as well. Yeah, Kevin Maillard. So that those two will be a force to be reckoned with in the team championship. So as we hop over to the pros, let's go over. We'll do a highlight. We'll do a highlight first. I think I got 2 pro highlights that are kind of fun. This one, courtesy of Mark Foley and his absolutely killer Savannah Bananas livery. Really fun. I think Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. It's a good time. I've been once. I believe Mark missed a Falcon race last season to go to a baseball game, caught a home run or a foul ball. So clearly a baseball head. Mark Foley comes into the pits with a big group. You got Gage, I believe, Gage Hines here, Jeff, Jacob Simmons, and who is this up here? Ryan Otis, the leader at the moment. Comes in, they're all pitting. This is a pretty tight battle, and then as we come out of the pits, look at the jump he gets. He almost snags over Gage. They about come together. That was it's pretty exciting, and all the while that's happening, I think they come out, and you've got a back marker right there, but lurking the ever fast Joshua Jablonski, trying to get the overcut on them, side by side with Mark, gets the spot. I think had Gage not been there, unfortunately for Mark, he might have had Josh, but not the way the cookie crumbled there. That was unfortunate, but it was really exciting. It was show you just the margins we have here. I want to jump over to Peter on his going into the pits. I believe he had quite the exciting pit entry. There is a car. Let's fly through this lap. I believe there's a car broken, limping its way into pit lane. Was it next lap? I can just look at the laps and what's the long one. Yeah, here we go. So there's a car, as you can see up here, which I believe we determined was broken, limping into the pits. Peter has no time for his shenanigans, flies into the grass, gets around him. Quite the fun move. I thought that was a quite a fun, interesting move there. So let's hop into the points. 10 pros here. Like I said, Austin taking the win. Jacob Simmons, I believe, gets 4th overall. Second, Gage right behind him. 5th overall, getting 3rd. Your defending champ, Peter, 7th. I believe he got 10th overall. Him and Josh were battling quite extensively. I think that's probably a one-off. I don't think this is probably his drop week, if we're being honest. I don't think you can keep him down in 10th overall for long. So good job from all of these guys to try to cash in points while they could. Ignore this table down here. No, we'll talk about it. So I decided to do like let's track the cars and how many points. We'll make a little car constructor championship. So I'm a basic Excel person, which I know this is sheets or whatever. So for each class, I'll have a table, and then under the team, I'll have all of the cars together. So you'll see these tables at the bottom of each of these little tables here. So yeah, like I said, we had I believe this is 2 Valhalla drivers at the on the podium, and then Thunder Thighs Racing, your defending team champs, Jacob Simmons in 2nd. So, like I said, it'll be interesting to see where this kind of shakes out. I expect more from Peter and even Mark. I think he'll be pushing these guys hard. Let's hop over to the Pro Am, where we have Jeff Koffold taking the victory, taking like 3rd overall, just absolutely crushing it. Like I said, it was a little controversial, him getting bumped down. I was a little surprised, but he's making the most of it. He's taking a win. A couple of just former AM. I think this is probably the last 2 overall AM champs. Alex Zier and Brandon Burns putting on quite the showing. Actually, now that I mentioned that, let's hop over. I believe I had a highlight with Brandon. But yeah, a couple of AMs showing how they can hang with the pro. They're now in the pro am class, showing that they're very much deserving of that. Let's hop over to Dylan, because it's Dylan Thomas. Oh my God, I'm so blind. It hurts. Also, these used to be in like numerical order, and now I think they're in order of like when you launched into the server, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Let's see, and this was on lap 17. So yeah, I think we had Brandon and Dylan. Yeah, there he is. Lurking. Let's go back. So these two in a solid battle for top 15, which in this league is huge. Side by side going into this hairpin, which is dodgy. I mean, what close battle. Nearly bang, giving great room to each other. Down the straight we go. Dylan really took the lead. Brandon swaps. Look at this. They swap sides as Dylan goes to dive to block the inside. Brandon's going to try to whip it around the outside now. Look at how tight that is. That's some really good battling here between these two. That was fun stuff. It's good to see, freshly promoted Brandon Burns representing for us, taking on the established pro-am in Dylan Thomas. Hop back over the points. Like I said, your podiums: Jeff, Koffel, Alex, and Brandon. It's a good battle. I mean, there's not a slow driver in this group. These guys are all fast. I'm sure at some point this is going to all get jumbled. Your defending pro-am champion Marshall finding himself off the podium. I'm sure he's going to want to try to rectify that next week. I believe we're at Le Mans, so that'll be a fun one. Chris Chitterling, I believe he won the second half, and he was really pushing Marshall to the end in the overall. Switch to the Aston, maybe didn't seem to enjoy it all that much. I qualified horribly, and I saw him near me, and I was like, oh man, that's wild. He moved forward. He got through. Unlike myself, he did not have any issues carving through the field. But yeah, I don't expect to see him having too many more seventh in class finishes outside of some things out of his control. So let's hop over to the AMs, my group of racers. So I think we had, let's start with our race winner Jason. Had a decent moment on lap 1, trying to make something happen on your champion, your pro champion from last season, Peter Flanner. Cold tires, but as we get into turn 3, which the fact that they call this one of these little kinks, maybe that one up there, turn 2, is absurd, but whatever. So you got an AM going at defending title champ. He's gonna defend. Look, it goes around the outside, tries to get the power down, pulls just enough alongside him that I think Peter doesn't think he can come over and block off his momentum. And then he lifts probably smartly. And I think, where was it? I know that maybe it was lap 2. I know they had a moment where it looked like he was gonna put the move on him. And I think that would have been pretty exciting to. Oh, here it is. Yes, yeah, lap 2. I'm dumb. Sorry, everybody. Lap 2, Brandon again gets a better run out of turn 3 here. Darts around, pulls alongside, fully along. The move is on. Really gets a good break. He just almost touched. And I think had they not almost touched, I think this makes Brandon hesitate. And Peter's able to edge him out there, and unfortunately never was able to put the move on him. I said Brandon, that's Jake. Sorry, Brandon ran this car last year, similar color scheme. My brain is a jumbled mess. But yeah, Jake just could not quite make the move stick. Tires were probably still a little bit cold, and just wasn't able to stick it around the outside, but was quite the valiant effort. And then, like I said, I think from what I watched, he ran on the bumper for the rest of the race. So super impressive showing. Just not much else you can say about that. That's a hell of a run from Jake. I expect to see him continuing to show out here. We'll throw a little blooper, a little self-deprecating humor of myself, I decided to try something new and quickly learned that that was stupid. As we go just after the pit stops, I'm just having a pretty horrendous race, and then I want to keep up, and I hit this little bump and just didn't lift out, and around I went. And I'm just staring at my competition, thinking, wow, aren't I dumb? But they have a pretty sweet livery, if I do say so. So yeah, let's hop back over the points. We've got our top three: Jason Daly, Seth Hansen, and Craig Reese. Seth, I think at one point was running really high up, and I do still think he finished pretty significantly. But yeah, I think there was one point where he was really running in front of a bunch of pro-ams. Um, Newcomer Aiden Gortz, I think he had quite a couple wins in the rookie class last season, so that was good. He translated that right into a solid performance. I think one point was running near the top 10 in quali and race. Had an unfortunate incident, I think, that bumped him down. Let's say 5. And then rounding out the top 5, Charles Whedon. Yeah, it was a good first race. I think there was a lot of people trying new things out, trying a bunch of different stuff, and for some of them, it worked, and for some of us, it did not work. So we will see how that shakes out next week. The AM class is always volatile. There's always maybe one or two that just never drop off the podium, but in general, you'll have some pretty crazy swings. Eric Kunzman having an issue down at 18th. That's not going to happen again. Um, so yeah, I'm excited to see. I think we got a good group of guys and a lot of really fast competitive drivers. And if we keep these big grids, anything's possible. Anything is possible. And then we will run over to the rookie class. Bust out a highlight. We spoke earlier of his teammate who ended up getting first. What was he? He was second overall, Ryan. But we were going to talk about Kevin. He had a move on pro. Was it Grosso or let's see? Can't remember if it was Grosso or Javecki. Lap 8. That would be, yeah, it's Grosso. Okay, so here he comes. They are battling early in the race, and he doesn't full send it up the inside. They get close. A lot of really just solid driving here. Two guys being very respectful of each other, trying to keep it smooth. I see Javecki sticking his nose in back there. Can't miss the purple. Love the purple. And you just tell Kevin wants to get this done. He's kind of biding his time, making sure he has a good run. Gets up close. Unfortunate. It looks like Grosso had a little bit of a moment right there. Back in, steps out. Kevin, like a shark with blood and water, jumps all over it. Gets up alongside and makes the move stick. Almost got a little dicey there. You could tell it affected him because then they kind of keep pulling alongside each other. This is a really good battle. Just super respectful, very clean, hard racing. No one's giving an inch, but no one's being overly aggressive and doing something that hurts them, hurts the other person, ruins everybody's race. That's some high quality stuff right there from a rookie and a veteran pro. So let's hop over to the rookie class. As we said, Ryan Otis is your winner, second overall, pole sitter. I'd be hard pressed to think he's not going to get an overall victory. He has crazy pace. His teammate Kevin in second. I mean, if he's pulling out top tens, this is going to be a brutal team to try to compete with. I think we'll get into the team stuff later, but that's going to be a tough team. And then Jackson Shallock taking third in this class. A really large class. I mean, 18 people that raced, 20 people that qualified. Um, Yeah, it'll be exciting. It'll be interesting to see how these guys shake out and just kind of see where all their pace lands them in the power rankings as well for getting moved up into the normal classes. And last but not least, we won't stick too long on teams because, as I always say, points can points can change in a heartbeat. But your top team at the moment is Valhalla, which is Gage Himes and Jeff Koffel. That's going to be a tough team. Gage always runs up near the front in pro. Jeff is going to always run up, if not at near the front of pro am, and that makes for a lot of points. So if those two stay consistent, that's going to be a tough team. Jacob and Dylan and Thunder Thighs, same deal. I mean, if you look at it, if you look at the top four, you've got guys who are always running at the front of a different class than their teammate, and that's quite a recipe. You know, you get two guys that aren't really taking points off each other, and you can put together 1-1s, 1-2s, 2-3s, and you just kind of keep stacking those. It's tough to beat. And like I said, we're gonna add. They haven't added yet, but 499 with um, Ryan Otis and Kevin Maillard. That's gonna be they're gonna be a wagon in the rookie class. So real excited to see how this shakes out. We will also scroll down to our new championship that I've just invented on the side, the Constructors Championship. Um, Currently, the highest driven car, unsurprising, the new toy, the Aston Martin. Um, they racked up the most points, but if you look, not the most points per race per driver, because that would be Ferrari. They racked up 288 points per driver. In second would be the Aston at 258. And then, oh no, second would be the Mercedes with 260, four drivers pulling their weight. And then the Aston at 258. This is meaningless. It makes no difference, but I thought it would be kind of fun to track to just see. Um, Next week, there's probably going to be some driver count changes because that's when the car locks are in. So you'll probably get a couple of people, myself probably included, that didn't like what car they ran. So they're going to switch before the lock occurs. So look out for this to change a little bit in the driver count next week because I don't really think I'm going to try to like save this and then start stacking all the new races. I think, you know, the couple of cars that change, their numbers are just going to get changed over to the other car. It'll be fine. Um, but yeah, so this will be fun to kind of just watch as the season goes on. Maybe people get into it and start trying to recruit for different cars. That'd be kind of a fun little gimmick. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah, thanks. It's been a bit of a long one. We had a lot to go over. But yeah, I'm excited for the season. It's gonna be a good one. We have a banger at Le Mans coming this Sunday. Bweck Broken Wing Endurance Championship is at Fuji tomorrow. No idea where ARCA is at Wednesday or V Rays is on Thursday or F4 on Friday, but um, you can find all of that at our website, which will be in the description, at the Discord, which will be in the description. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, guys. Like I said, always leave comments. Let me know what you want to see. If you want to send clips in after the race to be put in, let me know. I can absolutely do that. That'd be awesome. But with that being said, I guess I'll catch everyone later. Bye.